Okay guys, welcome to Nest for Code, the place where code nourish. So in today's session, we'll discuss about loops in Python, how loops work in Python, and you will find it a bit different, like it's quite different actually from what we see the loops in the other languages like C, C++ or Java or C#. Okay. And why do we use loops, right? So the primarily reason, right, of using loops in any language is like when we want to do a similar kind of work or we want to repeat a same kind of code or it's almost a similar task with little bit variation, it's possible, right? So we use loops. So let us suppose if I ask you, right, print say 10 numbers, right? So one thing can be, right, if I ask you to print 10 numbers, you maybe just do say you define a variable, like if you don't know loops, right? Maybe you define a variable, say I equal to 1, then you say print I, then you say I equal to I plus 1, then you again say print I, something like this, right? Or I think for ease, let's just copy this. Okay? Something like this. When you execute this, we got 10 numbers, right? From 1 to 10. But you can see just printing for the 10 numbers, we have written 20 lines of code. So this can be also one way to live without loops. But yeah, you can see it will just increase your code unnecessarily, right? Because what was the requirement here? We just want to increase the value of I one by one, and then we wanted to print it, right? This was just two things which were required here. And we ended up writing 20 codes because we don't know loops. And what was the small variation here? That value of I is increasing, right? Okay, guys. Yeah. So what we have done, we have just incrementing the value of I and then printing it. Okay. Yeah, guys. So like loops, they are like when you want to execute same statement or a group of statement multiple times, we use loops. Okay. So in Python, right, whenever we talk about loops, there is a very important method which comes in is a range method. So what we do, right, normally, what does range method do? Range method, let's see the first flavor of a range method. It takes two arguments. One will be called as start, right? And other will be called as stop. And it will give you the values from start to stop. Okay, so how it gives, right? So I think whatever the output range gives you, right, there is a list method and you can see this output using list method. So I think for now, if you don't know lists, it's fine. But what does list method do? Whatever the output we get from a range, it convert it into a list. Okay, so let us suppose if we do like this. So you can see it's giving us from 0 to 9. And what range method do? It will give you the value, right, from start. This will be called as start. And this will be called as stop. It will go give you the value from start one by one and it will go up to stop. It will not include the value which is mentioned at stop. So it will not give us 10. It will give us from start 0 and it will go till 9. But it will print in line. It will not include the value which is 10. I have converted into a list just to show you guys that how the output, because normally if you just say range 0 to 10, it will not give you anything. It will just print range only. So by using list method, we have just converted the output of a range function into a list. And the range, similar range functions we use in the loops. So how to write loops in Python? We can just say like if we are starting with for loop, right? So what we do, we say for, and then we give a variable name, right? And then we say for I, and then we write range. So say if I'm writing range from 0 to 10. So what will happen here? Whatever the value which is written by range, right, from 0 to 10, it will one by one go into the I, at each iteration, right? So loops like at first iteration or when the first time the loop will execute, the value of I will be, what will the value of I? Yeah, guys. So let us suppose if I print I here, right? So the value of, in the first iteration, the value of I will be 0. Then the value of I will become 1, 2, like this. It will go till 9. So it will give the value from range one by one in the I, and then we can have a statement, whatever we want to do for that value of I, right? So like this, we can see, right? It's giving the value of I from 0 to 9, and we are getting it in the variable I, and we are printing it one by one. But guys, it's not necessary that if you just want to print numbers and we use range functions. So, right? Let us suppose if you want to do, say, I just want to print hello, say 10 times, right? So I can have here hello also, because we know the range function will be executed 10 times. Sorry, the range function will give us a value from 0 to 10, and this for loop will be executed 10 times. So the output of this will be, it will print hello 10 times. So it's not necessary that I will print I only, or I will do something on I. The objective of I here, it will get each value from range one by one. It will be assigned to I, and then the loop will be executed the number of times we are getting the value in I. Right? Let us suppose, so this is a value start and this is a value of end, right? So you can give any value here. It's not that it will always start from 0, it will end at 10, right? Maybe like something like, let us suppose if I give 5, 10, right? And let us suppose if I print I. So it will start from 5, it will go up to 10, so it will just print till 9. Something like this, right? So we have started from 5 and we have gone till 9. We have got till 9 value. Okay, guys. The other thing is in range functions, right? Okay. So I think you understood this, right? So let us suppose if I ask you that print number, say from 1 to 10 or 1 to 100, you can just use range function, right? And when after the range function, we use this colon, and whatever we write inside the for loop, it will be by one tab space. So there will be a one tab space here, and we can have multiple statements here also. So we can just say something like, say, iteration number, like whatever the calls we make for all each time the loop is called, right? We call them as iteration also. So it will be iteration number, or we can just say inside loop, something like this. It's just like, we can have multiple statements also, and whatever will be inside the loop, it will be in the same level, right? You can see both the print statement are same level. Okay, let's execute this. So yeah, we're getting iteration number 5, but because we have used 5 here, it's giving us 5, but yeah, it's a value of I. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 like this. Clear? Yeah. So next thing is, in range function, we also have something called step. So what does step means? So by default, right? So the range functions, right, can be used in these 3 forms. Either we can give start, stop, step, we can give start, stop, or we can just give stop. So guys, when we don't pass start, if I just skip this 0, right, it will be by default 0. If I just say range 10, it will start from 0, it will go up to the value whatever we have provided for stop. The other form is, we can also give start, stop, step. Step means the number by which we will skip the values for start or stop. The values which are between start and stop, the number by which it will be skipped. So by default, step is 1. So what does it mean, right? If I give, let us suppose, if I just say, there it is. So if I say for I in range 0, 10, 1, and if I say print I, right? So what does it mean? That we have to start from 0, we'll go up to 10, and there will be a 1 gap, right? So we know by default it's 1 only, right? We get 0, then we get 1, then 2 like this, right? So by default step is 1 only. So the output of this program will be same as default. But let us suppose I ask you to write, let us suppose if you want to print all the, say, even numbers, say from 0 to 20. So I'm asking you to print all the even numbers from 0 to 20. So the one option can be I iterate over all the loops. Okay, just maybe. Or let us suppose if we are getting, say, the number as an input also. It's not that in the range function you will always use constants. Let us suppose I'm getting this number as a variable or as an input. So I'm just defining num equal to 20. So what I do here, the one option can be, I say for I in range 0 to, or we'll say num here, right? Because we're starting from 0, we'll go till num. Or we should go num plus 1. Why? Because it will go up to num and we want to include the value, that value also. So we can just say num plus 1 here also, right? Okay, and what we'll do here, we can say like if I, right? How we check even numbers? If I say I percent 2, right, equal to 0, we'll print I, right? So this can be a one way of writing this program, right? And when we execute this, it's printed all the even number for us from 0 to 20, right? What can be the other way? So guys, we know we have a, what we have here? We have a step also. And we know, like if we talk about even numbers, they will have a gap of step 2, right? After 2 it's come 4, after 4 it comes 6, like this, right? So like this we have even numbers at a step of 2. So if I want to say, if I don't want to go in all this conditional programming, and if I just say it will start from 0, it will go up to num plus 1, and it will be at a gap of 2, right? And then we print this. So also we get directly the all the even numbers which are from 0 to whatever the number was given. Here it was 20. So we got all the numbers, even numbers from 0 to 20 directly by this using this step in the range function. Let us suppose if similarly someone asks you, say, print all the odd numbers, right? From 0 to 20 or 1 to 20. Okay, guys. So guys, when we want to print all the odd numbers will start from 1, right? And from 1 it will, we want to go till 20. So because if we are starting here from 1, so what will be the I values? How they will change? It will be 1, 3 like this, right? Because what does step will do? It's something like next equal to start plus step, something like this, right? We add the step there. So like 1, 3. So like this we'll get all the values. And then once we print this, we get all the odd numbers from 0 to 20, right? Like this. So this is just changing to making some changes in the range function. We are getting all the odd numbers or even numbers. Yeah. Okay. So if you see here, right, it's printing in the always in the increasing order, right? 1, 3, 5 like this. Let us suppose I want to say print the number in the reverse order. So what's the problem here? What is the problem? Write a program to print the numbers in reverse order, right? So let us suppose I have given you a number, say 20, and I want output 20, 19 like this, right? Okay. So how can you do this? I can just say for I in range, right? So we'll start from say 0. We'll go till say num plus 1. I will start from 1. Let's go in 1 to 20, right? Yeah. And we want the numbers to be in the reverse order. So guys, what can I do to print the numbers in reverse order? So I know I will get what I will get in I 1, 2, 3 like this, right? So I think it's better if we start from 0 because it's better if we get it from 0 like this, right? And what we can print here? If I print I, what I will get? I will get 0, 1, 2, 3 like this till 19 or till 20 because we are doing num plus 1. But we want it in the reverse order. Or you can say, in place of reverse order, we can say what we can say? Decreasing order, right? Both will be the same thing, right? So the option can be, if I do say num minus I, right? So what it will do? I cannot say 20 minus I because 20 will be, because we are using this variable here in the range also, so it's better we do num also. Because if tomorrow I change this num to 30, my code will work as it is, right? So we'll just say num minus I. Okay, what is the output? 20, 19 like this. We are going till 0. Or if you just want to go say till 1, we can just remove this plus 1 here. And we'll get the output till 1. So guys, this is a one way to achieve this. Okay, what can be the other way? Yeah, let's see. So guys, we know we have a step here, right? Okay, but if we are just going from 0 to num. Okay, so let's try something around step again. So okay, what we will do? We are starting from 0 and we are going till num. Can we start from say num and we go till 0 and then just print num? Sorry, we'll just print I here. Okay, let's see what's the output. Oh, it's not doing anything, right? The reason why it's not doing anything, because at a first call, okay, yeah. So we want it from the reverse order, or we can say decreasing order numbers, and we want to say go from 20 to 0 or 20 to say 1, because it's 0, it will go till 1. Okay, but when we try to execute this, it was not working because what will happen? I will be 20, then I will become 21, and from 20 we cannot go 0, right? From 20, there is no way to reach 0 by increasing 1, right? So it's not giving any output, right? So what can we do that? Can we do something like -1? So it's like a negative step we are using here. So what we are saying, 20, then -1, 19, then -1, 18, then 17, like this we go, right? So we are decrementing 1 by 1, right? So at a first level, it will be 20, then 20 minus 1 will be 90, right? 20 minus 1 will become 90, 19 minus 1 become 18, 18, because we have given a step negative, right? This is the one way of achieving this. We are giving negative steps, right? Okay, let's see, right? We got the same thing. So the one option was we can use num minus I. The other option is we can just start from large number, it'll go up to 0, but we use negative steps. So this is an example of using how we can use negative steps also. Okay, so let's see some other problems, right? Let us suppose I want to, so whatever we were doing, it was mainly for positive numbers, right? So let us suppose I want to print negative numbers, say in increasing order, right? Write a program to print negative numbers, or we can go with, okay, in decreasing order. Okay, so, or say I'm saying, okay, and if let us suppose if number is given, so you have to print 20 numbers in decreasing order, right? So guys, decreasing order, we want to print 20 numbers. So it will be decreasing order, starting from say -1. Okay. So guys, if I ask you the negative numbers from -1 in decreasing order, what is the value? How it will go? Will it be -1, -2, -3 like this? Or it will be -20, -19 and dot 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 -1? Or it will be like this? Which one will be the right? So this will be the decreasing order, because we know, right? When for negative numbers, right? Yeah. So I can say I in range, right? Or we can say 0. Or we want to start from 1. We can start from 1, and we'll go with say num plus 1, right? Yeah. And then what we'll do? If I just print I, it will give me 1, 2, 3 like this, but I want negative. So I can just say minus I here, right? So whatever the value of I, it will just negate this. It will become -1 become -1, 2 become -2 like this. Okay, like this, right? So we got all the values in the loop like this, right? Okay, so this will be a one way to do this. Okay, let's see if we can achieve it using some other way. And guys, if I ask you, right, let us suppose if I want to, okay, let's see this problem only in the other way. If we don't want to use say -1 here, what can we do? We wanted to start from -1. We wanted to go till say minus num, something like this, because we are doing num plus 1 will be 21, and then it will become -21, and then okay, we missed the bracket here. Yeah, right. Can we do something like this? If we are trying it like this, right, -1, but if we add +1 here, it will become 0, right? It will not become -2. So in here, what we need a step. Here also we need a step of negative steps, because -1, then -1, again -1, it will become -2, right? So how it will be? First will be -1, right? Then what we'll do? -1 plus -1, right? What it will become? It will become -2, then -2 plus whatever the step we add, right? In -1, this will become -3 like this. Okay? And here we can just print I because we are getting the negative values in the I itself, right? So we got the same order, right? Which was expected, right? So this can be another way to achieve this, right? In place of tweaking here, making it negative, we can use negative start, stop, and steps, right? So this is the other way to get it done, right? Okay, so let us suppose if you want to say this was a decreasing order, if you want to say do it in increasing order, right? So okay. So what will the program for us will be? Write a program to print the negative numbers in. This was a decreasing order, we will say increasing order from negative number, something like -2. I will get an input, say minus number only. So what is the number we are getting? Say we are starting from -20 and we want to go till say from num to -1. So whatever number is given, we want to start from there and we want to go till -1. So guys, what we can do here, it will be the output will be something like -20, -19, something like this, right? So what can be done here for I in range, right? So let's starting say from we are starting say from 0. If we are going say till 20, if we just print say num minus I, right? So this was we use. So num minus I will give me 20, 19 like this, but we want it to be negative. So if we just convert num minus I into negative thing, right? Here, or if we are using num, it will be -20. So I think for now we can just keep num 20, so I think remove confusion, something like this. Okay? So we got it in reverse order also like this. So this can be one way to print the negative numbers in increasing order from number 2 or minus number to -1, something like this, right? Yeah. So other thing what we can do here, what we are doing, we are printing negative orders and we are tweaking somewhere here. Let's see if we can do something with step also, right? So what we want to do, we want to start from some minus num, right? And we want to go till -1, or we say 0 because we know that the stop will not be included in the values. And guys, because we are starting from -20, and then from -20, if I want to move, if I have -20 and I want to go -19, what will be the step here? What will the step here, guys? If I'm going from -20 to -19, what will be the step? What I need to add in -20 to get -19? 1, right? And by default, I know. By default, we know what is step. Step is 1 by default, right? So, and we can simply, what we can simply do here, we can just simply print I here. We don't need to do anything else. This is a simple way if you want to deal around, right? We don't need to go in minus num minus I, because guys, when you write code like something minus num minus I in bracket minus, somehow we miss something negative, something comes positive. So with doing changing in range, it's more easy for us to achieve these things. Okay, guys, and if the session ends between, right, I think it might end in 5 minutes, so you can just join in with the same link again. Okay, guys, so let me know if you have any doubts in whatever we have covered so far, like in for loops or in the range function. Is it clear to everyone? And people who already know Python, loops in Python, do you guys learn something new today? The people like who already know, I think few of you might already know loops in Python. Have you guys learned something new today? Like with this step and all? Because guys, I will, like you can go with any tutorials or anywhere, like people don't focus more on step. And many places you will just see a range function with start and stop. Nobody go with negative, positive steps. People just, even like many people don't know there is something like a step even in the range function. They just see a range function like something like 0, 10, and that's it. They don't know this. You can just do directly all these odd even numbers and other things. And one thing I would say, guys, that if you are say writing some complex program or some nested loops or anything, you don't understand if how the loop is working or what will happen. Like you have written a loop, but when you do, it's not even executed for a single condition. So the best thing is like you try to print the whatever the iteration, like whatever the iteration it's going, right? You are iterating based on I. So just try to print and see how the value of I is getting changed. And guys, one more thing. Okay. Can I use something else in place of I? Can I write I here? Guys, will this work? Will this work? Yeah, guys. I is also a variable, so this will also work normally. We can use anything with I also. And normally, right, if you have some meaningful thing, it's better in place of I use some meaningful variable. I can show you how to iterate over list, guys, I think, but we are yet to cover in series I list. But in list, like if you want to iterate over the list, it's simple. You just have to give here a list name. Whatever is your list variable, you just give this here and it's done. It will give you one by one all the list elements, similar to the way it gives you for the range. It's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit the like button and add your doubts in comments. Subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any updates. Also, don't forget to share it with your friends.